Okay, you're reading this first question on page 2 and you're like, wow, I don't know what to do. What can you do? Yeah?
Maybe figure out how much it is for one box.
Okay, because that's what you really want to figure out is how much it is for one box. Can I write down the information that they give me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can write down everything I do know. So what are the things that I do know? Cody, what do I know?
You know that they're going to give you 7, that you know that your choices are either 7 boxes for $6, or 7 boxes for $6, or 6 boxes for $5.
Okay. So I know that, and then I know this. All right. What are they asking me to figure out, Jaden? What do they want me to figure out here? Okay. So I need to know which of these two are the best deal. So then what? What's another way to think about that? What am I trying to find if I want to know which is a better deal? Quinn?
How much one box?
How much is one box? So I know that I got to figure out how much one box is. Is there a way to do that? Does anyone know? Olive?
Maybe you could find the price of,
So you want to know, basically, I'm just going to go on what Quinn said. Quinn said, I want to know the price per box. How much one box is. How many dollars per box. Does this help you maybe see what you can do to figure that out? Andrew?
50 cents.
Well, how would I figure it out? Like what numbers would I put into this to figure out how much one box is? Yeah, keep going.
Both prices.
Okay, so this price is $6 for how many boxes? 7. So how do I figure out what this equals? I have to divide, right? So go ahead and do that division. Right? 7. 6 goes in the doghouse. So let's just say I'm going to stop right there. What does this 0.857 represent, Rachel? Yeah, because here it says dollars per box. I put the dollars in, which was 6. Boxes were 7. If I do this, I'm going to find out that I'm going to get this answer of point, and I'm going to round the 5 up to 6. 0.86. What does that 0.86 represent? 86 cents per box. So we know that this deal here is 86 cents, or I'll do dollars instead of that. So 86 cents, okay, per box in this deal. And if I buy 7, I pay $6. So what would I do for this one? Same thing. Right? I'm still going to do the same ratio of dollars per box. So I do 5 over 6. Do that division. So I get 0.83. Vanessa, what's that 0.83 represent? Per box, right? So in this deal, For the 6 boxes for $5, each box costs 83 cents. Now that you know that, which is the better deal? The 6 for $5. Because I pay 83 cents per box as opposed to 86. Now, this is what is important to understand. These deals, I'm going to save cents if I just buy one. But let's say my company, let's say I'm Safeway or Natural Grocers, and I'm buying hundreds of these deals. Does it make a difference? Yeah. You're talking hundreds of dollars. Yeah, that might sound like a great deal. But I need to do the math and figure out ratio-wise which one has the best price per box. Because then I can save my company a lot of money. And this is what companies do. Okay, they have people that figure this stuff out. You as consumers need to pay more attention to this. Because you know it's like you walk down the cereal aisle and there'll be like a box of cereal and it'll be like, 15% more, right? And you're like, whoa, I'm getting 15% more for the same price as I paid last week. But then over here they have a similar cereal. Okay, no deal on it. Sorry, feet down. No deal on it. Okay? How do I figure out which is the best deal? I make a ratio. I make a ratio of, maybe it's not dollars per box. Dollars per what? Ounce. That's typically what you look for, is dollars per ounce. Okay? And most labels, if you look hard enough, it will tell you what it is per ounce. Like on the Safeway label, it will tell you, but it's always in small print. Because they always want to sell you something that they've had on the shelf for a long time before they sell you something new. So if you look, you'll be like, oh, per ounce. And I don't know if you noticed, but like coffees are famous. Like coffees will have there'll be a bag, and it'll be like a 20-ounce bag. And it will be for $8. And then right next to it, for $7.50, is another bag. But instead of 20 ounces, it's 18 ounces. And so you look at the price, the bags look exactly the same. Same size bag, but there's more in this bag than in this bag. And they're allowed to do this. Because you don't, and you're like, of course, $7.50 cheaper. But you didn't notice that they're two different ounce size. And so you actually bought the more expensive one. It happens all the time. Okay? And cereals are like, by far, they're so famous for it. So toothpaste are really, because there isn't no standard size of toothpaste. Right? You have Aquafresh, which is like 12 ounces, and you have Colgate, which gives you the huge Crest. Some of the Crest ones are like, huge thing of toothpaste. Right? And you don't even know, am I getting a better deal, worse deal? No, you got to figure out dollars per ounce. What would happen if I switched this and I went and I did the reciprocal of dollars per box and I did box by dollars? What would that tell me? Yeah. Yeah. How many boxes I can buy for $1? Do I want to know that information? Not really. Right? I know. You're like, so I can buy 1.2 boxes? But you really can't buy 0.2 of a box. Yeah, you're like, well, no, I'm getting a good deal. I'm going to cut this off. So this is why I'm showing you this, is that, I didn't fix that yet. I can write different comparisons in ratio form, not ration form, and explain the relationship represented. This is the relationship. That if I want to know dollars per box, it has to be written this way, not box per dollar. I want you to have number 1 on there from page 2. Number 2 is an interesting one. We're not going to go over it, but we will later on. But these 3 questions are perfect. the understanding that this unit, if you're a consumer, which I know most of you guys like buying stuff.
Definitely.
Okay? This unit is really important to being a smart consumer as opposed to someone who just like looks at like, oh, it's on special. That doesn't mean anything. Safeway's famous for it. They'll put stuff on special, and it's like you can actually get a better deal by buying what you bought before sometimes. So, Walmart is famous for it too. They do it all the time. Check your email, guys. Grades are going to be updated. I've already updated. I put three grades in over the week. Tonight I'm going to put the test scores in because I have almost everyone's test back. Don't stress about it. You all will get a retake. Retakes are on Thursday. If you want to retake it, Thursday's the day. Some of you will have to, based on the results. This is what I kind of came up with. I feel that I was surprised by some of the results. And so I'm going to have conversations with you individually over the next week if I was surprised. Because that means you're showing me one thing, but then you're performing differently. And my formative assessment's usually pretty good. Like, I'm not far off, but I was kind of off on a few of you guys. And that surprised me. Like, I wasn't expecting to be off by a lot. So, I need you to ask more questions. If you're sitting there wondering, don't wait. Be like, oh, I'll get it later. No, please don't. Okay? Because my job is to make sure that you understand it. And I can't do that unless sometimes you ask questions. Binders. Right now, take all your warm-ups out except for, and if you miss school on Thursday, I'm trying to see if anyone was gone on Thursday. You need to give me your warm-up.
Oh, wait, I have a question. I know an intake campus or not classroom, and there wasn't anything for Thursday.
Yeah. No.
Do I just leave this?
Leave it. Yeah, and give it to me. So go ahead, warm up, learning, and homework. Clean them out. Put them in recycling over by Cyrus. Okay, so all we have is our resources.
I know that the biomass goes up into
But I know it's still empty after doing that.
That is such a good question. That is a classic.
So it goes back to its original price.
No, it does not. No. Because 15% of the original price is much smaller than 15% of the new price. Right? See? Yeah. That's a classic. They are not the same.
So the new price? You get
Because if this is, let's say, think about it as in halves. If this is my whole, and I was given half a candy bar more, I'm going to have double, right? Okay. So, if this is my candy bar, and I said, hey, give me half of it. A friend has it, and he says, I'll give you half of mine, and it's this size. I'm going to get this much more. Boom. Now, ready? If my candy bar is the same size, half is much bigger now. Because the whole got bigger. Does that make sense? So 15% of a smaller amount is different than 15% of the bigger. Oh, yeah. And car dealers do that. Okay.
Yeah, this is trippy. Wait, yeah.
Almost. Hold on. Hey guys. Okay. This is your first paper in your learning. Everything else goes after it. We're going to go to 1.1. So have 1.1 in front of you and put the refrigerator copy in front of your learning.
We do classwork, right?
Yeah. All right.
We do homework?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to start doing something because I feel like maybe this will help us. I'm hoping it will. I need 2 people. Okay, this week, these 2 people are committing to do their homework every night, but they get out of their warm-up every day. So, listen, hold on. And so, I have Nina and Harper doing it third out. This is what you're going to do though. And I have Austin and Callie doing it sixth. When you come in, instead of doing the warm-up, you go and you start writing your homework down up on the board and you show me all your work. Because then that's how we're going to review our homework. Okay? I did some watching, so I'm going to go with Elise and we'll do Jaden this time. Everyone will get an opportunity. Okay? So, Elise and Jaden, you guys are committing. You're doing your homework. All right. 1.1. We're talking about ratios. Okay? And we're talking about how they represent and how they show information. This is what I want you to do right now. And it's going to be a little messy, but we'll work through it. We're going to really focus on number 1 and number 2. Because we're not going to have enough time for number 3 yet. Go ahead, read number 1, and I want you to work with the partner on these. And I want you to tell me, what does this mean and what does that mean? And how they get that information. So let's just start with number 1. In a taste test, people who preferred Cola outnumbered those who preferred Cola-Nola by a ratio of 17,139 to 11,426. What does that mean? Yes.
They might have voted or something. They did something to figure out which one people preferred.
Okay.
And more people
preferred the Cola?
Yeah.
So what is it? So it says by a ratio. What would I? Yes.
17,139 people liked Cola and 11,426 liked Cola-Nola.
So what's the ratio mean? What does that mean? Yeah?
That for every 17,139 people who liked
Yep.
Cola, there were 11,426 people who preferred Cola-Nola. I don't know. I know it's so bad.
That's what it means. So this ratio is comparing two parts. You guys see that? It's comparing a Cola to a Cola-Nola. So it's comparing one to the other. So if I said, what's the reciprocal of this? What is it? So the reciprocal would be this.
Can we just call it Cola?
Hold on. Okay. So this means this. When it says ratio, it means something over something. This is Cola to Cola-Nola. This is Cola-Nola to Cola. So it's comparing this to that, and here it's comparing this to that. Go ahead and do number 2 with your partner and write down what does it mean and how do they get it. Okay? Go for it.
Okay, 2.
Write down that information. So you're going to want the 1.1 in front of you. Okay, so this. Get this. Warm-ups. Hold on, let's do this. So, see if we can't get this organized. So this is going to be your warm-up and exit tickets. That's first. And warm-up and exits. Go there. This is what we're going to call our learning.
I got blue.
Go for it. So our learning, this is always the front for the unit, and then these go in after it. we can recycle that because that's from the last year. Okay, so those are the two main ones. You will have resources down here and probably intervention at some point. But this is what we're working on right now. So what you want to do is you want to take the notes that I just took up there for this one, but then you want to see how did they get this answer here. I was just looking at Quinn. Quinn had this for number 2. And you can tell me if you think she's onto it or... Yeah? No. Is that yes or no? Why do you say yes, Rachel?
Well, it says in number 2 that 5,713 people preferred Coca-Cola, but then if you subtract the 17,139 people that preferred Coca-Cola to the 11,426 people that preferred Coca-Cola, you get the
5,713. Okay. So this is how they got that. They said, hey, this is one way to show how many more people like Boulder Cola. 5,713 people like Boulder Cola. This is a hard one. Number 3, tackle 3.
Boulder Cola.
Okay. How'd they get that information? How'd they get 60%? Huh? 60% bigger than what? Not 60%. That doesn't mean it's 60% bigger than the other one.
That means the other one is 40%.
Yeah. All right, so I'm hearing, oh, this is good. So Vanessa, this is cool. Scarlett said, well, if 60% like Boulder Cola, Scarlett's like, hey, 40% like cola and all. Cool. That's true, right? 60 like this, 40%. How do they know it's 60%? 60% of what?
The people who were tested.
People who are tested. So it's 60% of all the people who are tested, right? How many people were tested?
22,852. What?
So hold on. So this is what that 60% means. It means 60% of these people and these people. So I'd have to take 17,139, add, and what is it? It's 28,000 something.
22,852. No, we got. You were adding 5,000.
28,000 what?
565.
That's it. So that means, what does that 28,565 mean? Cody?
It's the amount of people that took the test.
Yeah, that took the test. Now, when I say 60%, Scarlett, 60% of what? Of these people. So here's the question. How do you get 60%? You think you know? Elise, what do you think?
So I would think that you take 17,139 and put it in a ratio over 28,165.
Let's see. No, let's see. Hold on. If I was to do this division, it's pretty hard to do in your head, right? But hold on. If I was to do this division, would it be less than 1 or greater than 1?
Less than.
How do we know it's less than 1?
Because the denominator is greater than the numerator.
3, 9 is...
Andrew, how do we know that this is less than 1? So Andrew, what if I did this? What does that equal, Andrew? All right. So we got a foundation. We know that that's 1, right? So if I do this, Andrew, is that less than 1, greater than 1? Less than 1, right? Because 28 can't go into 26 one time. It's going to go in point something, right? Is this less than 1 or greater than 1? Because the numerator is smaller than the denominator. So this could equal 0.6. And what's 0.6 equal as a percent? Yeah, I got there. You don't be laughing. I got there. So if this was 14, let's say it was 14 over 28, what would be my decimal? Sylvie. 0.5. So this is 50%. So is it possible that 17 equals 0.6?
Yeah.
Okay. See, some of this we have to do some thinking about. But what's great is that what Vanessa did, she took, or at least she took Boulder Cola, and she said, hey, if I divide it by how many total people, I'm going to get my answer. Now, that was a hard question. But that's how you do it. This is called a part to whole. Whereas up here, this is called a part to part. I'm comparing 2 parts, right? Cola-Nola and Boulder Cola to each other. Down here, I'm comparing Boulder Cola to the whole entire group that was tested. Part to whole. What about the last one? Where'd you get that from? Go. Cyrus, have you done ratios before?
I did last year.
A little bit? Because this unit's all about the ratio that we're doing now.
Cola outnumbered those who
How did they get that 3-to-2 ratio? So, how do I do this? How do they get 3-to-2? 3-to-2. Scarlett. Yeah. But you made a great comment before, because it's saying Boulder Cola to Cola-Nola. And what do we say about the percent for Boulder Cola, Scarlett?
40?
No. 60. What do we say about the percent here?
40.
How did they get 3-to-2? Radana?
Well, if you divide them both by 2, then...
So if I divide this by 2, I get 30. I divide this by 2, I get 20. And then what? Divide by 10? And now I get 3 over. This is another way, Rachel, this is another way to show, okay, this is a part to part. It's comparing one part to another part. But it's another way to show a comparison using a ratio. Exactly what our whole I can statement for today is. Press.
I didn't really know what to do, so I tried like 17,139 divided by 3, and I obviously didn't get that answer, but I got 5,713, and I'm really confused.
So, okay. So wait.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the difference.
Huh. Interesting.
And you know why it works? Because it's a third. This is 1/3 more. And you divide by 3, which is a third. It's just, yeah, totally. But that is pretty cool that you figured out that if I divide this by 3, it equals the difference. That's pretty nuts. But that means that this goes, that is 2/3 of that. And this is 1/3 more than that. Pretty cool, huh? Boom! Okay, questions about that piece there? So talk to your partner about this. Which of the above statements do you think would be best in an advertisement and why? Because this is what this is all about. Consumerism, how do I appeal to you? Which one would be the best way to say it? And which one would be the worst one, you think? Go, talk to your partner. What do you think the worst one is? Why that one? Why that one?
Because there's like a whole advertisement of 7,000 numbers. Like if you're doing a small advertisement.
Okay.
Because yeah, that's still a lot of numbers compared to like all. Too bad.
Which one's a better one? Which one's the worst one,
I
Scarlett?
think number 4 is the best one. Number 1 is the worst one.
What are you thinking, Andrew?
It doesn't sound.
Yeah.
And like because it sounds.
You think the best one's number 2? Why?
The numbers are so close.
Nah, you can't just pick. You got to know
If
why.
it's like 2/3.
So Cody, let's come back together here. So out of these, because now this is what, as an advertiser, you're going to get this data, and you're going to have ratios and comparisons, and you can manipulate it to show these are all showing similar results, but they give us different representations. So which one would I choose and why? Cody?
I'd probably choose 2 because, I mean, if you have number 1 and number 2, then it's like probably the easiest out of all of them because all you have to do is just subtract 11,429 from 17,139.
And what do you guys think about that? Elise?
I agree with them. I was just going to say because it's one number that the viewers have to remember or, see, that they don't have to subtract as you would have to.
Okay. Okay. Ryan?
I would say the one because you have the numbers, but then if you had 2, you don't know. Like you know that 5,700 more people liked it, but you don't know how many people.
If 5 million people were tested, what do you think about that?
Right. It's not.
That doesn't seem like a big deal, right? Okay. Press?
Allie actually pointed this out to me, but I don't think like 1 is the best because compared to like how many people were actually tested, 11,426 people is still a lot of people.
Tell me, in advertising, do you see a lot of this?
No.
Okay. Do you see this? No? You say kind of? Man, you guys, come on, Verizon. This is Verizon to a T. 3 to 2 people prefer Verizon over other networks, blah, blah, blah. Right? I mean, you see, Verizon is the king of making the simplest comparison, saying 3 to 2.
I thought.
Or, right? Verizon has 3 to 2 people. They had the ball. You remember the ball that went around? What?
I love Verizon's. Or it was some other one where it was a whole bunch of balls coming down.
Yes! Right? And man, it all came down, right? And all the balls went to Verizon, right? And a few balls went over here. But that all had to do with, basically, they were looking at 3 to 2 or 1 to, 3 to 1 or whatever. Where you don't even know how many people they tested.
Verizon's not that.
Maybe they chose 12 people. And those 12 people gave them those results. They can use that results and then standardize them.
That's why I thought the 4th one was the worst one.
Yeah.
So you thought because you felt you were like being not informed?
Yeah, and like a ratio of 3 to 2, that like when you really think about it, you just see something that says 3 to 2 people. Without all the big numbers, it doesn't seem like that many people like it more.
They could They could have chose 9 people.
Yeah, it's a really small
But they still liked
comparison.
it more.
Okay. Do you see the 60%? You see that quite a bit. You thought that was the best one? I can tell you that this one you see a lot on as for networks when they advertise, or when like a news organization advertises, they'll say like 45% of viewers like watching, CNN or Fox News or whatever it is, okay? And they don't tell you the rest.
But see, if you're really advertising to someone on the TV, are they going to care about the rest? Are they going to think it through before the next commercial comes on?
I'll say this because we got to go to the exit ticket. With this data and the ratios, it's not so much what the ratio says that you should be wondering about. It's what it doesn't show you. Yeah. When they say the 3 to 2, you should wonder, I wonder how many people actually got tested. Like, was it really that many? If they say like 12,000 people prefer it, you might want to wonder what was the sample population. Did they, right? It's more about, because when they give you those statistics, it's more about what they're not sharing than more what they are sharing. All right. Exit ticket. We're going to practice this. Hey guys, we're going to practice this because, I can write different comparisons in ratio form. Allie? In ratio form and explain the relationship represented. Okay, we have 3 questions. We have 6 minutes. It is ski season, so Monarch and Cooper are having a juice off. They got to make their favorite juice, and they had people come and drink it. 900 people preferred Monarch Cherry Blast. 250 people preferred Cooper Melon Splash.
I'm so new to all this.
So, it is ski season, so
Oh yeah, we're all.
I'd like you to go ahead and try to answer 1, 2, and 3 is exactly what we just worked on. Work with your partner, and you can use your notes. Yes?
Well, you guys never think about the other percent, how many, and then you're like, well, how much is that?
Okay, get going, Chris. Get going. No, Allie, I need to fix this. I've been wanting to fix it for a couple periods now.
In a comparison,
Oh yeah, the ration thing. The ratio.
In a comparison taste test of 2 drinks, 900 people preferred Monarch Cherry Blast. Only 250 preferred Melon Splash. No, it says. How many more people enjoy Monarch Cherry Blast? So. Monarch Cherry Blast.
I got 650.
You can't do 0 minus 5, so you borrow from the 9, making it 8. It brings the 0 to 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 8 minus 2 is 6.
You can do like 9 or 2.5.
6 would be really fast though.
cherry.
He did.
What are you doing for it?
Okay.
We gotta add.
I just want something to break. Well,
One lesson. It's okay.
but that's good. So we'll do the second part.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'll see how he did on that.
And I signed the one that I helped him with.
I said, hey, you got stuff I asked you to pass in? Those are zeros now. I was like,
Wait, so we have to 900 plus.
maybe he doesn't care. I don't know.
Wouldn't that, yeah, wouldn't that just be 1,000?
Let's talk about this. So, how many people enjoyed Monarch? How many more people? Sorry. Let's go, Ryan.
650 more people.
How'd you do it?
900 minus 250.
Yeah, this is standard subtraction problem. So I get 650 more people. Okay, that one's a pretty easy one. Then we stepped it up a little bit. Andrew, how'd you do number 2? What percentage of people enjoyed Cooper Melon Splash?
I just saw how many times 25 can go up to 90.
Oh, so you simplified it that way. Okay, you are so close. Because if I say 250, how many times 250 goes into 900? Is this how many people were tested total?
No.
Ah, that's how many people like the Monarch, right? So what number needs to go down here?
1,150.
1,150. Do you know why that's 1,150, Andrew? Allie?
Because 900 plus 250 is.
So the first thing they did is they said, here are the total number of people that were tested. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I know. I don't know why it came out that way. I didn't do it that way, but there. So I went 900 plus 250. This is the total number of people. So now my ratio is my Cooper Melon Splash to total. This is going to give me a percentage. How do I solve that? Because I can do what you did. Take off those zeros, right? And then just go and divide. You guys have to get used to doing this work. That goes into 250 2 times. That's 230. With 20 left over, that goes into there 1. So it says what percentage, if I got 0.21, what's the percentage like the Cooper Melon Splash? If my answer is 2.1 from this ratio. What?
Yeah. Be 21%?
Mm-hmm. 21%. So it says what percentage of people enjoyed the Cooper Melon Splash? That is going to be 21%. Because this ratio, when I solve it, I get 0.21 with something else. Okay, there's something else after another number, but I'm just solving it to the 10th place. Does that make sense, Ryan?
Can I just say
That this ratio right here equals 0.21, I think it's like 0.218. So it could be 22%. Yeah. So, last question. People who preferred Monarch Cherry Blast outnumbered those who preferred Cooper Melon Splash. So this is a part to part. I'm comparing the two parts. So how would I solve this? What ratio would I set up for this? Yeah? 900 to 250. Because that is asking me Monarch Cherry Blast to Cooper Melon. And I'm going to get basically like 3.5 to 1. That goes into there like 3.5 times. But this is how you would set it up. Just like Olive said, I'd put the 900 to 250. And so it would be like a almost a 3.5 to 1. What does that 3.5 to 1 mean?
If there's 3.5 people
For every one person. You already know that 0.5 person. All right. We'll continue working on the ratios. Elise and Jaden, you guys are my homework people. Don't forget, all week long. All right. See you guys later.